Merry Christmas, parish orphans and retrogrades. More bishops have repudiated Fiducia supplicants. They are the Hungarians led by Cardinal Peter Erdo, a longtime faithful repudiator of the Sankt Gallen agenda, alive and well in the Vatican these 11 years. The Hungarians add their names to the list of, the growing list, I might add, of national bishops' conferences who reject Fiducia supplicans. That is virtually every bishops' conference I've seen in Africa, in addition to sub-congregations of bishops' congregations in places like Poland, England, and other Eastern Bloc countries that, generally speaking, have the faith. This just broke a few hours ago. Diane Montaigne reports it as such. Here we have it. Hungarian Bishops' Conference responds to Vatican declaration. Priests should always avoid common blessings for couples who live together in a non-marital partnership or a marriage that is not valid in the church, or who live in an SS partnership. There you have it. Also, so we're gonna question this term in today's show. What do they mean, a common blessing? This is the central issue which has been assiduously avoided by those who have sought to defend Fiducia supplicants. Common blessing. What does that mean? What is a common blessing? We'll talk about that in today's show. Also, Shane Schetzel reporting that Francis has now destroyed ecumenical relations with the Orthodox churches. The Metropolitan, I guess he's primate, I'm guessing, Hilarion. After Fiducia supplicans, it is no longer possible to talk about reunification between Catholics and Orthodox. So, a growing list of bishops' conferences inside the church reject this document with de facto doctrinal reversal. Hungary adds their name to the list. The Orthodox, one of the Patriarchate, Hilarion, says it's no longer possible to talk about reunification between Catholics and Orthodox. The 14 autocephalous Orthodox churches, correct me if I have this wrong, have this attenuated authority between and among them, obviously, since there is no pope. So I'm not sure whether or not Metropolitan Hilarion is referring to all of the Orthodox churches or just them and their constituents and probably half or more of the autocephalous churches. The Pope-splainer response is going to be this. Who cares? What are you, an ecumenist? No, I wasn't for the reunification in unqualified terms that my friend Jay Dyer was saying was going to happen in 2025, sort of no matter what, between Bartholomew and Francis. I wasn't necessarily for that unless it could be achieved on, Catholic friendly terms. But what this does show, parish orphans and retrogrades, that Metropolitan Hilarion, for his part, says that an Orthodox Catholic reunion is no longer possible because of Fiducia supplicans, is that the relationship between the Catholic Church and the rest of the world, based on the Francis pontificate, the rest of the Christian world, based on Pope Francis's pontificate, Fiducia supplicans in particular, has suffered. Now, what you're going to see is a funny two-step whereby these people who are huge, the Francis defenders, huge enthusiasts of Vatican II, with its primary aim, which is opening up the windows of the church to the world, ecumenism. That is the primary aim of Vatican II, and I'm someone who does not reject the documents. I'm cautiously not optimistic even. I'm a cautious rejecter of the spirit behind them, but a textualist acceptor that they are not technically unorthodox. You're going to see them flipping and flopping. The Pope-splainers, who are normally bald-faced ecumenists, because this is what Francis is. He is the spirit of Vatican II. And now they're going to say, oh, we don't care. What do we care if all of the conservative, faithful, right-wing Orthodox in the church hate Fiducia supplicans, absolutely mistrust Francis, and think he's awful? They're going to say, what do we care if all of the faithful right-wing Protestants in the world absolutely hate Fiducia supplicans and absolutely mistrust him? If all of the secular conservatives in America, I'm not speaking on behalf of any of these three parties, by the way, Orthodox Protestants who are faithful, right-wing sort of secular people, or Christian right-wing people that are way more conservative than they are Christian, all of them mistrust Francis and loathe Fiducia supplicans, you would be hard-pressed, literally, to find one of these three groups, right-wing Orthodox, right-wing Protestants, right-wing secular types, who endorse Francis. Was that true with Pope Benedict the 16th? Absolutely not. All three of these groups, right-wing Protestants, right-wing Orthodox, right-wing secular people, particularly in America, loved Pope Benedict XVI. They were his main defenders. Now I think he's at best a mediocre pope, the way things turned out. At best, a mediocre pope. But he was a faithful Catholic. Same thing with JP2, John Paul II. Absolutely loved and treasured by right-wing Protestants, particularly Americans, right-wing Orthodox, particularly Americans, right-wing secular-leaning people. Talk to someone like Paul Kengor, who has storied the right-wing love for JP2 in America, the Americanist WASP love for him. Paul Kengor knows the whole count. The more secular WASP love in America from the right for JP2, and the outright secular right love for him. And of course, the Orthodox found him as favorable as they can find any pope as well. I'm not saying they loved him. I'm not saying the Orthodox loved Benedict, but they did not speak the way they speak about Francis. Now, within the church, you have an entire continent of Africa. An entire continent, literally, who says, we reject this document. And there is literally no sense that can be made of all of this in a way which leaves any kind of explanation standing, which serves to explain why does everyone, aside from Pope-splaining Catholics, who might in some ways be right-wing, the kind of neocon Catholics, a lot of neophytes into the church in this group, and then left Caths are the only people in the world, and then outright lefties, secular lefties, love Francis too, are the only people in the whole world that love Francis, that love this pontificate, that love Fiducia supplicans. Why? Articulate why. I read on Twitter today, someone said, oh, the right wing has an irrational dislike for Francis. That simply doesn't make sense. They didn't have that for Benedict or JP2. There is no distinguisher aside from the fact that Francis is a legitimate man of the left. He proved it with Amoris Laetitia. Let's talk about Fiducia supplicans more specifically. Why would the Hungarian bishops reject it? Never the Austrians. Because it's bad. Now, I want to show you a little production by rules for retrogrades. Pope Francis delivering Fiducia supplicans to his church, to his churchmen. Hold on, we'll play this with simultaneity. Let's do it on the count of 3, Steph.
Oh, I don't think I can turn the volume off on this end. Oh, wait, yeah, I can. Okay.
Okay, are you...
All right. 1.
We will go on the
Go
count...
3.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Here to be your friend. Change number 1, Daryl. Per your request, the company is sending you to business school at night. Full ride, deal with it.
Seriously?
Stone cold, seriously.
Stone cold
They are
seriously.
trying to figure me out, and I don't like it. Change 2, Toby, you're getting a new chair.
Thanks.
Don't thank me. Hey, don't thank me, guy. Okay?
It's Tucho.
And I don't care if you like it.
These sound like good ideas. Why
James
wouldn't
Martin
we like
SJ.
them?
I
Why would we
don't
like them?
care what your favorite flavor is. Here's a bowl of ice cream. You either like it or you don't. That's my attitude right now in this room. That's my attitude on Ice Cream Thursdays. All right? Clear? Any questions?
This all sounds great to me,
Baron.
but I could see how some people might think that they're bad.
Now, of course, the joke here is that Francis is like, I don't want people to be able to figure me out, like Will Ferrell says in the skit. I want to push forward the Sankt Gallen agenda, which has been marching steadily for nearly 11 years in March. And I don't want people to figure me out. So the main way this march has been tuned, the marching orders, has been to give boons allowing heteropraxy. And they are doctrinal boons allowing heteropraxy. They are teachings from teaching documents which say, go ahead and do X. Basically, like Honorius saying, go ahead and Arianism. Except more specifically. When I say more specifically, I don't mean there's not doublespeak mixed in. I do not mean that. Doublespeak has absolutely been mixed in to these marching orders. In Amoris Laetitia, you had a little bit of hedging as well, even though you had the key money shot in the footnote, which gave communion to the divorced and remarried. For about 5 months, the Pope-splainers were allowed to say, I don't know, and then they just would read you the doublespeak every day. Every day. They would be reading the doublespeak. Well, what about this? And I'd be like, yeah, that's in there. Edward Fazer is saying every day on Twitter, yes, I know the doublespeak is in there. Will Ferrell is doing the doublespeak. He's giving boons to Father James Martin S.J.
You naughty thing.
You naughty pet. And then Father James is like, oh, this is awesome. Thanks. He's like, hey, don't thank me, guy. I wasn't doing you a favor.
What are you thinking me for?
What are you thanking me for? Tucho Fernandez. I just gave you a new chair. Chair of the Holy Office. That was the little joke. But why? Don't thank me. What do you mean? You and James Martin and the entire LMNOP agenda in the world, the advocates, you're all thanking me. Why? I don't get it. He's scratching his head. He's pretending. I didn't give you guys anything. Look at the doublespeak in this document. But everyone's like, I mean, we get it. Cardinal Tobin, thank you. Cardinal, everyone but the good guys in the church. Everybody but the faithful bishops who are all rejecting the document. Or saying, okay, thank you. Pope Francis, you, Will Ferrell, in this skit, can pretend that you are being hard on us. Even though you meet with James Martin, you say you're doing great work. I got your back. Even though you promote Cardinal Supage, Cardinal Tobin. You tried to promote Bishop Heiner Wilmer, who had been censured over SS unions by outgoing prefect Ladaria. And the first thing Pope Francis, Will Ferrell, did was he fired Ladaria after Ladaria had censored Heiner Wilmer, leader of the German Synodal Way, over the SS issue. And he tried to give him Ladaria's job. Last December is almost a year to this date. It is, I think, the anniversary of it being announced that Francis, I think it was December 27th of last year, Francis tried to give Ladaria, faithful cardinal, head of the Holy Office, the job to the man whom he had censured and said, you can't do all this pro-LMNOP stuff. He fired him and he tried to give him his job. There's some intervention by the cardinals. And Francis said, okay, fine. I'll just do Cardinal Tuccio Fernandez. Toby Tuccio. And he's like, here, you got a new chair. Here you go. And then all of the bad guys in the room are applauding. And Pope Francis is looking around. He's like, hey, don't thank me, guy. Why are you happy? Why are you guys happy? I don't get it. It's Solomonic, except sophistry. Like, two people come to you, hey, solve this dispute. Steph and I had a hot dispute over a Sorry game last night.
Sorry, by the way, the game Sorry, I think, has destroyed American families since, 1973?
It wasn't that hot a dispute, but we need it. Like, there's a rule dispute because we're having a Gordon family tournament of games. 6 games, we play each one back to back. Best of 12 with points awarded for gold, silver, and bronze. It's very fun. I suggest this. Make a game tournament. We keep it on a whiteboard. It's a great time. There's an ambiguity in the take your hand off the sorry piece rule. And we were disputing that. So if we'd taken that to mediator, an ADR mediator, alternate dispute resolution, and he said, Tim, I favor you. Then I'd be like, awesome. It would be weird if he was like, well, don't thank me. I don't even know why you're happy. There's one thing to say, don't thank me because I'm just being objective. One of you is right. Steph was wrong, obviously. No, just kidding, Steffi. Not really. But the point is, it would be one thing to say, don't thank me because I'm just doing objective truth. I would have just as easily figured for Steph if she was right. That's not what Francis is saying. Will Ferrell. He's saying, don't thank me. I don't even know why you're happy. It's like, well, you just favored us. In Fiducia Supplicans, Pope Francis makes a de facto reversal of the CDF doctrine laid out just 2 years before in 2021. So here's what I have offered in the spirit of everything I just said to debate any Pope-splainer on. And I was supposed to be doing a Pope-splainer show today. I said, look, these elements, there was a de facto reversal of the 2021 doctrine in the Vatican, in the CDF statement, on joint blessings of SS couples. Here is the reversal. In the very introduction to Tuccio Fernandez's document from 2023, you have the reversal. Here's the text. It's a de facto reversal. You can't dispute this. It is precisely in this context that one can understand the possibility of blessing couples in irregular situations and SS couples without officially validating their status or changing in any way the Church's perennial teaching on marriage. That's what's disputed. Because in 2021, it was officially stated that you can't bless couples. You cannot bless couples without officially validating the status. So that is quite literally what is the reversal doctrinally. The name of the doctrinal reversal, in other words, is whether or not any irregular couples can receive any blessing without validating their status. And the simple fact, I'll read you direct quote from the 2021 document. It is not licit to impart a blessing on relationships or partnerships, even stable ones, that involve sexual activity outside of marriage. I will repeat that. Just so you know, it's a facial contradiction. This is not this can't be debated with any of the Pope's splainers. They can't come on here and say, in 2021, it was not held forth that, quote, it's not licit to impart a blessing on relationships or partnerships that involve, the other translation for partnerships is couples. So let's just say, it's not licit to impart a blessing on relationships or couples, even stable ones, that involve sexual activity outside of marriage. Period. You can't do it. Yeah. Now, 21's document said the teaching has always been, it is, of course, we don't even have to say this, licit to impart a blessing on an individual who gets a several blessing by himself, even if he's part of an illicit couple, irregular couple, who, even if that couple is engaged in sexual activity outside of marriage. Of course, you could do that. So the question is, was there a reversal of the 21 doctrine on joint blessings of SS couples? And here's the key word from 2023. Here appears the possibility of blessings for couples in irregular situations and couples of SS. There it is. So that's what we're talking about here.